Hello, 22 Tony here, with another discussion on collecting vintage and antique ammo. Recently, one of my viewers asked me if I could do another video discussing the value of the cartridges that were displayed in the previous video. Initially I agreed. I thought it was a good idea, and I started putting my thoughts together for my next video. As I started putting it together, I realized that this was going to be a Herculean task. And for an 8 or 10 minute YouTube video, I wasn't going to be able to get into a lot of detail. So I started thinking, how can I lead you in the right direction? Because that's what my videos are all about anyway. They're not about giving you the answers. They're about getting you to think about collecting and leading you in your own direction. So I want to give just some real brief overviews and give you some of my thoughts and hopefully give you a path to start thinking about it yourself. Well, first, when we start talking about values, I think probably most people are hoping to walk into a garage sale and for $1 pick up a box of ammo and come home with a cartridge that's worth $10,000. It's probably not going to happen. There are individual cartridges worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Chances of finding one of those at your local garage sale are pretty slim. But I did put together here a little bit of a collection of a variety of different items, and almost everything here came either from, in fact everything here came from either local garage sales or auctions. And let's first talk about what I know best, and that's the 22 boxes. That's what I collect, and that's what I've got a pretty good idea on. 22 boxes range in value anywhere from about $5 a box into the hundreds, and again probably thousands for the right box. Just to show you what I have here, I've got a pre-barcode Remington, common box, 1970s, mint condition, came out of a brick. I sell these in the shop for $5 a box. Basically the same price as what you would pay for factory fresh ammo at Gander Mountain. Not a lot of collector value here. But from the same period, 1970s, we've got a Sears box here. This one's a little older, not quite in as pristine condition, but still fairly nice condition. A factory fresh box of Sears 22 long rifle, copper plated. These are going to sell anywhere from about $10 to $15 a box. Same period, law of supply and demand. These are common, not so common, the price goes up. But then again, I know you're interested in where's the big dollars. Well, I've got here an early 1920s Winchester two-piece box, factory full, excellent condition, showing a little bit of wear, but the box is very nice condition. Now here you're looking at probably a $40 to $50 retail at a gun show. Again, law of supply and demand. There weren't a lot of boxes from 1921 or 22 that made it through in this condition, still factory full. Well, what about individual cartridges? That's not my area of focus, but I do know a little bit about it. I do a lot of buying and selling and trading, and I pick up a few things along the way. Realistically, most cartridges that you're going to find they retail for 50 cents to $2. They're not a lot of value here, but that's one of the nice things about being a collector, though, is you can collect individual cartridges and you can put together, 50, 60, 100 different cartridges for not a lot of money. When you're picking these up at garage sales and box lots or at auctions, even if you go to a gun show and you're looking for some individual cartridges, let's say your collection doesn't have a 22 shot shell, you're probably going to be able to find a gun dealer that has a box lot of just odds and ends stuff. Probably not going to charge you more than 50 cents for it, just so that he can say he charged something. On the other hand, a 22 automatic from the 1930s. If you find one of these at a gun show, still not a lot of money, but you're probably going to have to pay $2 or $3 to get that cartridge. Now, I've just shown a few different things here. I've got 32 Smith Wesson. This is a short that also came in a long version. 32 auto. These actually are modern. These are shootable. These are value of the new cartridge, 50 cents a piece or whatever they sell for these days. 380 auto, the same thing. These are modern, just things that I picked up in box lots. Then we come to the 9mm. Well, here's where I want to talk a little bit about the value of collecting to me. To me, it's a whole lot more than the dollar value. I've got 3 different 9mm here. I've got a Remington. This is a CCI. But this is the interesting one. This is a World War II German-made Nazi 9mm cartridge. Now, we want to talk about dollar value. Still not a huge dollar value. These came in boxes of 16, small boxes of 16. They probably retail about $30 a box, so roughly $2 a cartridge. To buy one from a gun dealer at a gun show, you're probably going to have to pay $4 or $5 for it for him to sell an individual cartridge. So not huge dollars, but here's the real value. The real value is the history. This gives you a chance to, research the guns and the ammo and what they were used for and what was being done with them. That's the value in the cartridge, is the history that you can learn from them. And we want to talk about history, we drop right down below. We're going to skip a little bit here, but these are 3 different 45 autos. 45 autos been around well over 100 years. Everybody knows the military value in the military history. I've got a Federal, a Winchester, and a Remington Peters. I didn't look into the age of these. I could have looked them up based on the head stamps and got some ideas on exactly how old these 3 were. For this particular discussion, that didn't really matter to me. The value of the cartridges, again, probably at a gun show, $1 a piece, not a lot of money, but we all know the value of the history of the 1911, the 45 auto. I want to talk about a few other things here just to let you know what I have. I've got a 38 Colt, then I've got a 38 Colt Special and a 38 Winchester Special. Or I'm sorry, 38 Smith Wesson Special. To me, I believe these are the same cartridge. If I'm wrong, please leave comments and tell me how wrong I am. I didn't take the time to do a lot of research on them. I just pulled these out of a box and thought I'd put them out here for you. Again, these are a little more unusual. They're not what you're going to find every day at a garage sale, but these did come from a garage sale. And again, at a gun show, at a gun dealer, you're probably going to pay, $1 to $3 a piece for those cartridges if you need them for your collection. Next, I've got a 357 Magnum. Again, this is modern shootable ammo. I don't know what 357 sells for a box, but I'm sure it's less than $1 a cartridge. Then I've got a 3840. That's, again, something a little less common. You're probably going to pay $2 or $3 for that. I've got 2 that I think are pretty interesting, a 4440 and a 44 WCF. They're actually the same cartridge. 4440 and 44 WCF, it's the same thing. When I did start to do a little bit of research in them though, what I found is collectors tend to pay more for the 44 WCF cartridge. They appear that they're not quite as plentiful, and collectors want to collect one of everything in that particular caliber. So if you're putting together a 4440 collection, you need a 44 WCF as part of your collection, and you're willing to pay a little bit more for it. So again, these aren't huge value at a gun show. Probably $2 or $3 for this one, and $3 or $4 for this one. But like I said, the value is a whole lot more than that. The value to me is the joy of the hunt. To go to garage sales and auctions and gun shows and flea markets and wherever else you're going to find these types of cartridges. That's a big part of collecting, and to me that's the value of the cartridge itself. So more than the $1 or $2 that you're going to pay for a cartridge, it's what you get out of it is the true value of these cartridges. Now, as long as we're talking about values, though, I do want to mention one other thing, that many of these cartridges are available on websites like Gunbroker and others. Gunbroker is the one that I use most often, but there are other ones out there. The thing about value, though, when you start dealing with the websites, is you have to figure out a way to ship them. Due to postal regulations, you cannot ship a single 22 auto rimfire through the post office. Postal regulations prohibit it. So for me to ship you this one cartridge, that's like I said, a $2 or $3 cartridge, It has to ship UPS or FedEx ground. You're looking minimum $10 or $12 shipping. So that's what kind of makes the value of these cartridges a little misleading. You have to factor that into it. So to buy an individual cartridge, to start collecting that way and think you're going to buy an individual cartridge on the internet, probably not a good idea. So you're going to have to think of other ways to start your collection. But local garage sales, auctions, flea markets, pawn shops are going to have these types of things. It's a great collection, something that you can spend many, many hours enjoying. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like all my videos, again, it's not to give you any final answers, it's to give you something to think about. I hope you share it and subscribe and enjoy the hunt. Have a good day, everybody.